Hey boys and girls, I wanted to go over classifying quadrilaterals. What I have done is I've actually created a document, and so you all can use this. If you have a printer, you could print it off. If you don't have a printer, you're probably going to have to write it down. That way that you have it, that you can use it for your notes when you're going over the different quadrilaterals until you get everything memorized. Basically what I have done is I've given you the easiest definition that I can give you for these different quadrilaterals, and how do you know if a quadrilateral actually fits this definition or not. So we're going to go through these. I'll try to be as quick as possible, but there's some things that I'll need to explain. The first thing is, the first one is not a quadrilateral. The first one is just a definition of what is a polygon. And so a polygon is a closed figure, which means no gaps or holes. What I mean by that is if I draw a figure here, well, there's a gap, there's a hole, there's a way to escape. This is not a polygon. But the other shapes that I have up here, they are polygons because they do not have any gaps or holes in them, and they all use straight lines. Now, the biggest thing with a polygon is it can be any number of sides. So you can see I have several different ones on here, some examples. There's a million more examples. But what you have to know for a polygon is it's closed, it's a closed shape, and it has nothing but straight lines. So these are examples of polygons. So then we jump down to a quadrilateral. And a quadrilateral is a four-sided polygon. Again, it's four sides, straight lines, and it's closed. There's no way to escape. That is what a quadrilateral is. Now, I've given you several different examples of quadrilaterals, but as you can see, they all have four sides and they are all closed. There's no gaps or holes in them. So that is what makes something a quadrilateral. Quad means four, so it's a four-sided closed shape. Next, we have our square. Now, some of you all know what a square is. Some of you all don't. I'm going to give you the actual definition of what makes something a square. A square is a it's a quadrilateral, so it has to have four sides, and it has to be a closed shape with straight lines. That's a quad. So it has to be a quadrilateral. The other thing it has to have four equal sides. So all four sides have to be the same length, and it has to have four right angles. So I have given you a couple of examples of a square. Again, what makes a square a square? One, it's a quad. Two, four right angles. Three, four equal sides. It has to be all of that. If it's not a square. Now the next one, a rectangle. I know you all think you know what a rectangle is, but I'm going to give you a definition. One, it's a quadrilateral. Second, what makes a rectangle a rectangle? It has four right angles. So, as you can see down here, I've given you some shapes. Those have four sides and four right angles. It's a quad with four right angles. That's it. Yeah, Mr. Drake, you put a square on there. I know. A square has four right angles. It's a rectangle. That's right. All squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. We'll get to that. But yes, this shape right here, it is a square, but it's also a rectangle. It has four right angles. It makes it a rectangle. All right, so we're going to move on. Another quadrilateral is what's called a trapezoid. The definition of a trapezoid is a quadrilateral with only one pair of parallel sides. Parallel lines or parallel sides, these are lines that never intersect. They're the train tracks. They go on forever. They never intersect. Now, I didn't do a great job making my parallel lines here. They should be straighter than that. But one set of parallel lines. And so if you look up here, on this one here, we have this line and this line. And we can extend it on forever. But those are parallel. They would never intersect one another. These little arrows are arrows that we use to mark that something is parallel. So what does it mean by one set of parallel lines? Well, these two opposite lines are parallel to one another. But let's look at these other ones. This one goes straight up and down, where this one goes a little crooked. Well, eventually, this crooked line and this line, they would intersect each other. If there's an intersection, they can't be parallel. So these opposite sides are not parallel. So we only have one set of parallel lines. It is a trapezoid. Same over here. If we extend this one and we extend this one, eventually up here they would intersect. That does not make that side parallel. However, the other one, the top and the bottom, it's another set of train tracks. They would never intersect. And so that is one set of parallel lines, which would make it a trapezoid. All right, so the next one, parallelogram. A little bit easier. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral that has two pairs of parallel sides. And if you look up here, again, I have a single arrow and a single arrow. These are train tracks that would never intersect. That is one set of parallel lines. However, the other way, we have this one and this one. That is a second set of parallel lines, or train tracks. So we have two sets of parallel lines. This is a parallelogram. And if you look over there, our traditional square, our traditional rectangle, those are also parallelograms because the opposite sides are train tracks. They are parallel. They will never intersect. So those are parallelograms too. The next shape that we're going to learn about, the next quadrilateral that we're going to learn about is a rhombus. What makes a rhombus a rhombus? One, it has to be a quadrilateral. Two, it has to have four equal sides. So if a shape is a quad with four equal sides, it's also a rhombus. So these are three examples of a rhombus. They have equal sides. That makes it a rhombus. Yes, it's still a square, but it's still a rhombus too. Four equal sides is a rhombus. The last one's the most difficult. Buzz does not teach us one very often, but it is something that we cover here at Silver Creek. It is called a kite. And the definition of a kite is kind of crazy. It is a quadrilateral, four-sided closed shape, straight lines. A quadrilateral with at least two adjacent sides that share a vertex, that are equal lengths. Okay, what are you talking about, Mr. Drake? That's a bunch of words, very confusing. Let me show you. We know a quadrilateral has four corners. A quadrilateral has four sides. A quadrilateral also has four corners, which are called vertices. Okay, the four corners, four vertices. What we have to do is we have to look at those four corners. And we have to see if the lines that meet at those corners, if they're equal lengths or not. If two or more of those corners have lines that connect to it that are equal lengths, it is a kite. Let me walk you through this. So let's look at this first one over here. I'm going to hop over to the other side. I might disappear a little bit. But here are our four corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so what I want to do, actually this is the second shape, but bear with me. What I want to do is I'm going to focus on this corner right here. The two lines that meet at this corner are this one and this one. Are those two equal lengths? Yes. So I put yes here because they are equal. Well, let's look at another one. Let's look at this one right here. Which two lines meet at this blue mark? Well, it's this one and this one. Are those two equal? Yes. So I wrote yes here. The other two are yeses as well. But to be a quadrilateral, it has to have at least two yeses. This one has four yeses. That's more than two. Yes, it is. I'm sorry. Yes, it is a kite. I said quadrilateral. It is a kite. Let's look at this one. This one's more of a traditional one. Okay? Four corners, right? We're going to look at this first one. Which two lines meet at that corner? Well, it's this and this. Are they equal? Yes. So I put a yes there. But let's look at this one. Which two lines meet here? Well, I have this one that's kind of small and this one that's kind of large. Are those two equal? No. So I put a no here. However, down here at this bottom one, which two lines meet? Well, we have this one and we have this one. Are they equal? Yes. Now, I already have my two yeses. It only takes two. So, yes, this is a kite. So I'm going to show you one more. I'm going to give you an example of something that's not a kite and why. I'm going to give you the old traditional rectangle. Here are our four corners. I'm going to start with this one. Is this line and this line the same length? No. So I'm going to write my no there. I'll go to the next corner. Which two hit this corner? Well, it's this one and this one. Are the two blue lines the same length? No. Let's go to our third corner, which is right here. It would be this one and this one. Are those the same length? No. Let's go to the last corner, which is right here, which would be this line and this line that connect to it. Are those the same? No. Well, how many yeses do I have? I don't have any yeses. It's not a kite because I need two yeses. I have 0 yeses. It is not a kite. But these are an easy way to classify your quadrilaterals. What other shapes are they? What you are going to have to do is look at a shape and decide what is it. So I might give you one shape. It might be 5 different things. So what I need you all to do is start memorizing these definitions. Because coming up, you're going to have to know, I'm going to give you a shape, and you're going to have to list all the different types of quadrilaterals it is, and why. So you're going to need to know those definitions. Again, I attached the PDF with these notes on it. If you can print it, great. If you can't print it, you better jot it down on a piece of paper because you're going to need it for your notes. Now you can go do your buzz assignment.